mankind has the honor of quite possibly being the most destructive force to ever hit Mother Nature. This list looks at some of the more recent, probably lesser-known extinctions that humans have lent a helping hand to. Whether by overhunting or overpopulation, driving a species to extinction is nothing to be proud of, and it's certainly not slowing down. Thylacine, commonly known as the Tasmanian tiger. The thylacine was the largest known carnivorous marsupial of modern times. Virtually wiped out in the wild due to constant hunting and the encroachment of humans on their already limited habitat. The thylacine was finally recognized as being in danger of becoming extinct in 1936, too little too late, as that same year the last thylacine, named Benjamin, died on September 7 as the result of neglect, locked out of its sheltered sleeping quarters and exposed to freezing temperatures at night in Hobart Zoo, Tasmania. 60 years on, there are still claims of sightings, but all are yet to be confirmed. Quagga. The quagga was a southern subspecies of the plains zebra. It differed from other zebras mainly in having stripes on the head, neck, and front portion of its body, and having brownish, rather than white, on its upper parts. The last free quaggas may have been caught in 1870. The last captive quagga, a mare, died on August 12, 1883 in Amsterdam Zoo, where she had lived since May 9, 1867. It was not realized that this quagga mare was the very last of her kind. Because of the confusion caused by the indiscriminate use of the term quagga for any zebra, the true quagga was hunted to extinction without this being realized until many years later. The quagga became extinct because it was ruthlessly hunted down for meat and leather by South African farmers. Also, they were seen by the settlers as competitors, like other wild grass-eating animals, for their livestock, mainly sheep and goats. Golden toad. The first record of the golden toad was by herpetologist J. Savage in 1966. The toad, recognized by its brilliant golden-orange color, was native to the tropical cloud forests which surround Monteverde, Costa Rica. None have been seen since 1989. It last bred in normal numbers in 1987, and its breeding sites were well known. In 1987, due to erratic weather, the pools dried up before the larvae had matured. Out of potential 30,000 toads, only 29 had survived. In 1988, only 8 males and 2 females could be located. In 1989, a single male was found. This was the last record of the species. Extensive searches since this time have failed to produce any more records of the golden toad. Take-up-a-putfish. The take-up-a-putfish was native in the Mojave Desert in Inyo County, California. This fish subspecies was originally found only in the outflows of North and South Take-up-a hot springs. It was first described by Robert Rushmiller in 1948. Its decline began in the early 1940s, when the northern and the southern spring, which were about 10 yards apart, were made into canals and bathhouses were built. The popularity of Take-up-a hot springs in the 1950s and 1960s led to the building of hotels and trailer parks in that area. By 1981, the take-up-a-putfish was officially delisted by the United States Fish and Wildlife Service, and it became the first animal which was officially declared extinct according to the provisions of the Endangered Species Act of 1973. Baiji River dolphin. The Baiji population declined drastically in recent decades as China industrialized and made heavy use of the river for fishing, transportation, and hydroelectricity. As China developed economically, pressure on the river Dolphin grew significantly. Industrial and residential waste flowed into the Yangtze. The riverbed was dredged and reinforced with concrete in many locations. Ship traffic multiplied, boats grew in size, and fishermen employed wider and more lethal nets. Noise pollution caused the nearly blind animal to collide with propellers. In the 1970s and 1980s, an estimated half of Baiji deaths were attributed to entanglement in fishing gear. Only a few hundred were left by 1970. Then the number dropped down to 400 by the 1980s, and then to 13 in 1997, when a full-fledged search was conducted. The dolphin was declared functionally extinct after an expedition, late in 2006, failed to record a single individual after an extensive search of the animal's entire range.